r/IDontWorkHereLady, episode 30. Go right ahead, doctor. So, I was visiting my wife who was laid up on a ward in hospital. It was early evening and I'd come straight from work. Because of her illness she's feeling very nauseous, and I approach one of the nursing staff to request a couple of the disposable cardboard cig bowls. They point me towards a supply cupboard and tell me the code. Okay, that doesn't usually happen. I go in and quickly locate what I need, head back to my wife. A short while later a nurse comes over to remind me blood test results are back for some of the other patients on the ward. I'm just a visitor in a suit, lady. You're gonna need a doctor for that. It's a costume. No, really. My office had a Halloween themed sales event today where everyone had to come in costume. Since I don't usually otherwise dress up for Halloween and didn't want to burn money on a single-use costume, I asked a mechanic friend if I could borrow one of his jumpsuits from work and he obliged. This was good both because it was a free costume and because it had a comedic element. Anyone who works with me knows I have a medical condition that disqualifies me from driving, so have never owned a car, let alone worried about car maintenance. So I was at the bus stop on the side of the road in my costume when a frantic woman runs up to me. FW, frantic woman. FW, sir, excuse me, my car broke down and I have no idea what's wrong. I'm headed into work and really can't wait for a tow. Would you mind taking a look? Me, oh, haha. Sorry, this is actually just a costume. FW, do I look like I was born yesterday? Me, no, really, I'm headed to a Halloween thing. FW, at 8 AM on a Monday? Look, if you don't want to help me, be man enough to say so. Don't go making up a wild story. Me, I can't help you. I don't even drive. I've never owned a car. I'd help if I could. FW, a mechanic who's never owned a car? Why are you jerking me around? Me, I'm not a mechanic. This is a costume. FW, I've got a baby in there. You're going to let a baby sit in a hot car because you're too lazy to take a quick peek under my hood. Me, thought you said you were going to work. FW, that is besides the point. Are you going to help me or no? Me, I can't, I'm not a mechanic. FW, I'm not stupid. Me, I didn't say you were stupid. I said I'm not a mechanic. FW, I'm going to call your boss and tell him all about this. You better believe I'm posting it on Yelp too. Me, you don't think it's the least bit strange that a car mechanic is here at a bus stop? FW, turn around. Let me see where you work. My buddy's company logo is on the back of the suit and his name is embroidered on the front. Me, whatever, fine. FW dials. Puts it on speaker. FW, you have 2 seconds to change your mind. You're about to get fired. Me, doubt that. You don't know where I work, she sputters inaudibly. BB equals BUDDY apostrophe S boss BB, generic auto shop, how can I help? FW, yes, my car is broken down on the side of the road and your mechanic won't help me get it started. BB, ma'am, are you sure you've got the right shop name? We don't offer roadside assistance. FW, well, I didn't call for roadside assistance, but he's right here and refuses to help me. BB, ma'am, mechanics don't have to do anything outside the shop or off the clock. You want a roadside assistance recommendation or FW, you don't understand. He offered to take a look and took $20 from me and now isn't doing anything. He's just standing refusing to help me. First of all, bold-faced lie. I've rarely seen an adult lie so shamelessly and out of nowhere. Second, if I'd just ripped her off for $20, why would I still be there? It wasn't even a well-conceived lie. BB, oh. Well, we can't have that. You're sure it was one of my guys? Did you catch his name tag? FW, it says Mike. BB, calling to someone in back, hey, did Mike leave? My buddy Mike, nah boss, what's up? BB, listen, I don't know who this is, but don't you be prank calling this line again. BB hangs up and I just smiled dumbly at FW. Me, anything else I can help you with? FW, you're all just grease monkeys. Thank God I went to college and will never be stuck in a job like this and have morals and wouldn't leave a woman stranded on the side of the road and play such a mean trick, and she was still going as I got on the bus. I called the shop to explain once I got on the bus, and we all had a good laugh, and my friend said I should post on here. So here I am. I don't usually use Reddit, so sorry for anything out of place or incorrect. Editor line got cut off. Also clarify. Costco and the old lady. Me, headphones and jamming to my music while shopping. Costco shopper, taps my shoulder. Me, yes. Costco shopper, you're very disrespectful listening to your music, ignoring customers while you are at work. Me, excuse me? I don't war. Costco customer, doesn't let me finish. Angry voice, I want to speak to the manager about how disrespectful you are to customers, ignoring them. Me, okay. Let's go get a manager. We find manager. Manager, how can I help you? Costco customer, your employee is very rude. She is listening to her music while I'm asking for her help. Manager, looks at me, looks back at customer. Ma'am, she doesn't work here, she's just a shopper like you, ma'am, sorry. Customer, sorry, you just look like you work here. Me, well I don't. I tried telling you. Don't argue / piss off people you're paying to eat. So this happened last year on my third shift at my new job. I work at a pizza chain, Domino's, that's located just outside of a supermarket. I migrated to Australia about 6 years ago and had become an Australian citizen before I got the job. Mind you, I had a slight American accent, but I can easily switch to my Malaysian accent pretty quickly. Me, as myself. Entitled Karen. Megabyte, my brother, manager. My manager had sent me out of the store to go pick up some stuff at the local shop as we were running out of a few certain toppings. I walked down every aisle to search for the items, checking my phone because it was nearing till the end of my shift, whilst also glancing at cash out area. I finally found the item I searched for, looked for which ones that are the cheapest in big quantities when a wild Karen appeared. She started ranting to me about some stuff in another aisle. Note, my uniform is full black dress pants, a black belt, black leather shoes, a hairnet, a black hat with the Domino's logo, and infamous black polo top with Domino's written on the back. It was clear to any sane customer that I was a Domino's worker, while as the workers at the local shop wore white blouse button-ups, black dress pants, hair tied back, and a badge showing that they worked at that local shop. To make it even more of a difference, I was still wearing the apron from Domino's. The hat I had to wear also had the logo on it. I remember the conversation going like this. Also note that this was during my first week at the job. What are you doing on your phone? Me, I switched to my Malaysian accent. Sorry, what? So unprofessional. I have been trying to get your attention for the past 5 minutes. Me, I don't work here. Don't give that bullshit. I want these following items. Make it quick. She pushed her shopping list into my already full hands of large packets of oregano and chicken salt. Me, ma'am, I don't work here. I work at Stop making dumb excuses right now. Do your damn job. At this point, I checked my phone, and I was well over overtime. While the wild Karen was busy ranting, I ran to the cash out and paid for the items. Then, as quick as my tired legs can, I ran back to the store I work for. Gave the change and receipt to my manager, who's also my brother. Told him the whole situation on why I was taking 30 minutes to buy oregano and chicken salt. He said I can clock out now and take some spare garlic breads home. While I was in the midst of taking my apron, the door opened. Mind you, our door didn't have a bell on top, but it did slammed pretty damned loud shut. Standing at the front was the entitled Karen from the shops. She looked fuming red. My brother handed me a couple pizzas that were to be picked up. I yelled the name, no reply. So I placed it back on the hot shelf. I turned to and put on my most fakest customer service smile and voice and spoke, me, hello, welcome to Domino's. How can I help you today, in an American accent, you. Me, yes. How can I help you today? What are you doing behind there? You're supposed to be at, insert local shop name, working there instead. Then appears my brother speaking in his fake customer service American accent megabyte. Hello ma'am, may I ask? Why are you yelling at my fellow employee here? She Jim my pizza. Megabyte, may I get the name then? A pepperoni pizza now. Me, have you ordered your pizza? What do you think I'm doing RN? Ordering you idiot. Megabyte, ma'am I must ask you to lower your voice, and not to speak to our employees like that please. I went on to make the order, but my brother had other plans. He told me to clock out, and would pay for the overtime. Even though it was a Sunday, and we do 10% surcharges on Sundays. He came home later that night, and told me that he had the security to physically remove her from the property. And now I haven't even seen that Karen at all. And now whenever I have a shitty day at work, and someone asks how was work, I reply, oh sure, I enjoy feeding and making food for entitled ungrateful Karens, and received shouts of obscenities from drunkards for 9 hours a week. It was great. I really do enjoy working there though. A badge doesn't equal an employee of said store. Welp, here I am. After reading stories for quite some time, I finally have one to contribute, and it happened just a few hours ago. I left work to go to large box warehouse store that sounds like Roscoe. As there are 3 in my city, I, of course, chose the one I hadn't ever been to. This meant that I wandered around a bit looking for everything that the office needed me to pick up. With a cart full of granola bars, coffee, and candy, I was in search of the bottled water. Suddenly I hear a Karen. K will be Karen and I will be me, of course. K, can you help me? Me, I don't know. What do you need? K, what do you mean you don't know? You work here don't you? Me, actually, I don't. K, well you have on a name badge thingy. She actually called it a thingy. Me, yes, I do. It's for the NLT, insert name of medical school here and GT, K, but, it's a name badge, so you have to help me. Me, again, I don't. I'm shopping. If you go to customer service, I'm sure they would be happy to help you. K, well why are you here then? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Me, because I usually go to the other store in other town, but I came up here instead today. I must say, I like the other store better. There are entitled bitches there. And with that, dear reader, I walked away in search of bottled water. I seriously wonder how these people even remember to breathe. Slightly different well. I once was in Target browsing the makeup aisle when an older woman approached me and asked if I could help her find something. I figured maybe she was just having trouble seeing or something, so I helped her look, then we found it an aisle over. She thanked me, and I went on to find what I needed in the aisle I was originally in. After a few minutes she came back and asked me to find something else for her. I pointed her in the general direction of the item, since it was something from the pharmacy section. I move on to a few aisles away and here she comes for the 3rd time. She asked me if I could help her find something else, and I was becoming a bit annoyed. I asked her if she would like me to find an employee to help her. She looked so shocked, and then I saw her processing it all. She said that this whole time she thought I worked there, and we laughed together. She thanked me for helping her either way. Funnily enough, it didn't register to me that she thought I worked there because I was wearing a black band shirt, jeans and flip-flops. You can't drive off from me. I was at the dentist office getting a cleaning, but we found a cavity and they said that they could take care of me after lunch. I said great. I knew I could not drive home, so I asked if I could just hang out in the office for their lunch hour, but alas they said no. So I go to my car and mess around on my iPhone for a while until I realized that I need to get gas before I go home, and that now would be a great time to do so before they fill my cavity. So as I was pulling out of the parking spot, some crazy woman starts yelling at me from the sidewalk right next to the dentist office and GT. Crazy woman, hey. Don't drive off. Come back, and GT, me, thinking to myself, what the actual F? So I rolled down my window, and GT, me, what, and GT, crazy woman, do you work in the office? And GT, me, no. Then I drove off. Why are you going to flag down someone's car in the parking lot of a dentist's office? If they are not answering their phone, ESP around lunchtime, let them go to lunch. Stop harassing random cars in parking lots. Even if I did work for the office, I still would have told her no. 0. Also, for the record, I was there when the office opened back up and the crazy woman was nowhere in sight. They didn't take me back immediately. It took a few minimums. Maybe she was running late. IDK. And I don't care. I'm here so often, I might as well work here. This is much more chill than your typical IDontWorkHereLady story, but it is the first time I can remember it happening to me. On mobile, so forgive the formatting. I was in a bookstore, belonging to a national bookselling chain, looking for a particular vinyl record for my brother as a birthday gift. As I'm looking through records, an elderly woman walks up to me and asks if I could tell her where the chicken soup for the soul books and the like would be. I knew instantly that she thought I worked there. The uniform at this store was really just casual to business casual with an ID badge. I was wearing that, minus the badge, and I have been told I have a customer service demeanor. I probably would have actually pointed her in the right direction if the store hadn't recently switched everything around. Instead, I said I'm sorry, I wouldn't know, because I don't work here. If you ask the people up front, they can probably help you. She just laughed and said sorry for bothering me before leaving to find an actual employee. I laughed about it with my fiance later, who said you're at that store so much, you might as well work there. Mistaken for an undercover security guard. First post ever, have patience. M equals ME, F equals FOOL, SC equals STORE employee. Posting from mobile, sorry for formatting. This is pretty mild compared to some of the other stories on this sub, but it was something that kind of stuck out to me, and I still chuckle about. Not too sure it belongs here, but here goes nothing. This took place a couple years ago, so I'm kinda fuzzy on some of the details. I was at Walmart with my wife picking up a couple of things for home. My wife went to go grab a couple of items elsewhere, and I went to check the electronics department for something. I can't quite remember what. I was making my purchase right there in electronics, and while I was being rung up, I hear directly behind me, "You should be ashamed of yourself." I turned my head to see what was going on, thinking some sort of scene was happening behind me, but lo and behold, some little disheveled fool was standing right behind me, glaring at me *WITH what must have been a look of pure confusion. Excuse me? F. How can you do that? *EVEN more bewildered. Huh. F. Do you feel proud of yourself turning on your own people like that? Both F and I are POC. Excuse me? F. You think you're fooling anybody? I know you're security here. Kinda chuckling in disbelief. What are you talking about? I don't work here. F. What the fudge ever? Be proud of yourself then. After finally finishing ringing me up and giving me my change. SE. This man doesn't work here, sir. F. Sure he does. Just look at him. SE and I share an eye roll and a look of exhaustion, and just smile about it. SE. Sorry about that, sir. Thank you and have a good night. You, sir, can't bother other customers or I'll have security escort you out. I just grabbed my bag and new purchase, smiled at the fool, and walked away to find my wife. Thanks for the read edit to include the fact that F and I are POC edit too. Tried to fix formatting for an easier read. Where is the F *** tonic water? A funny flashback to my days in the beer industry. I was a level 3 or 4 in the company despite being a 24-year-old, and my days consisted of meetings, sales, presentations, and meetings. Nothing was better than holidays, when I chose to take off the business suit, throw on some blue jeans and a Miller Lite brand polo, and help the distributors sling beer on the shelves. One day I made the unfortunate decision to wear a red polo at an heavy grocery store in Texas. Employees wore red polos. Despite the fact that mine had a huge Miller Lite logo on it and was a different shade of red, I spent my day apologizing to customers that I didn't know what aisle X, Y, or Z was on. Then came the Karen and all her Karen glory. I feel someone grab and yank my polo as I'm throwing a 24-pack into the cooler. Where the fuck is the tonic water? There is no fucking tonic water. I need my damn tonic water. What is wrong with you people? It went on for probably 45 seconds when I held my hand up to her face and said, "We don't work here." Karen turned red, all flustered, and started sputtering and apologizing. "I thought you were an employee." As she walked away, I told my distributor loudly, "Wow, what kind of miserable person speaks to anyone like that?" Not a great comeback, but I bet Karen thought twice before verbally assaulting an employee again. Wholesome IDWHL. This happened several years ago when I was out job hunting, so I don't remember much of it, but I'll try my best. As I said, one day I walking around town looking for places that were hiring. At the time I didn't have a computer and the libraries near me didn't allow people to be on them for very long. So I no other choice but to go on foot. I was in the last store on my job hunt when one of the costumers stopped me and asked me where something was. Granted, I was wearing a skirt that was a similar color to the smocks the employees wore, so I understood why he confused me for one. When I told him I didn't work at that store and why I was there, he apologized and went to find one of the actual workers. If only more people were like that. Quick Target trip. So on one of my days off I stopped by Target to buy some clothing hangers. As I'm walking out by the self-checkout, a man stops to ask me, "Do you work here?" I look down at my Stranger Things gray sweatpants and flip-flops before I look back up at him. No. Sorry. I don't get what he saw in me that made him think I was an employee.